series pertain at Bahrain, and we've raced at China, and that personal favourite circuit hasn't been one of my best circuits. But first, we just have to clarify a few things because we have now merged the G1 and the G2 together with them committed to the broadcast. Just tell us while we wait for the drivers to ready up what you make of the Spanish Grand Prix circuit.
Interesting for our drivers, and the first few corners are quite challenging as well, especially like turn one.
Now in the loading screen, getting ready for the start. We've already got a comment coming through. Of course, Tyler Beasley, who, like I said, should know better from this. Listening to the stream too much probably is a little too distracting, but we'll see if it makes a difference. Tyler's also attempting to use the wheel today, so we'll see how he does in regards to that. We've also got an extra special guest today in the commentary booth. My partner's cat has decided to sit on my lap and watch the race, so trying his best to be the new...
Something funny.
What's that?
When you weren't commentating, Tyler cried again and hit your voice, and it was like, what's going on?
Oh, jeez. So we've got 14 drivers. I think this will be the means. I don't think there's anyone coming in late or anything like that. We'll just see how that plays along. So, no new drivers today, as opposed to what we usually have. We don't have... I think the only new driver we've got this weekend is actually in the F3 department. Get the tyres all up so we can figure out who's going what, and we'll also get the thing. So the first driver out on the circuit looks to be Samuel Sullivan. No, actually we've got Gareth Vickers a bit further up the road in the Alfa Romeo. So another thing you're also going to notice differently is the cars as well, the cars that drivers are using. So it's a bit laggy. I do apologise on that front. Might get Matt to stream it this next weekend to see if it makes any differences. But in any which case, Tyler Beasley on track now on the hard tyre, using the wheel for the first time this weekend. We'll see how that plays for him, and if that works out better for him, we might see him change it full time for the Nationals as well. Hasn't had a really good run in the F1 Championship, has he, Matt? I mean, I think he's only had 2 finishes out of the 11 races that we've had so far, so a string of DNFs, just, it wouldn't be good for the confidence or motivation, but it's probably something that goes with the pad. The pad does string inconsistencies. I think that's just someone slowing down, letting people through.
Mercedes. Everyone's in the wrong car. P6. Sorry.
Eden Haas.
Eden Haas, yeah. I was really quick on that one.
Oh, Jaden Felter's just gone off at 9. He's taken the...
Jeez. Yeah.
And that was Addy right behind him. That's...
Mercedes hit each other. Sorry, both Mercedes just... Addy just got completely wiped out by his teammate.
Wonder what's gone on there. That was an interesting one. I was just watching Jaden because Jaden had gone wide at 9 and gone to the fact he's gone off again. Just watching.
I'm so sorry for Addy. That is not what we want.
So what happened? Did it look like, was it?
Gareth was basically lost it, and he was slowly trying to rejoin the track, and Addy was must have clearly coming quite fast and just full on went into him. But Addy was definitely pushing on his outlet, and Bullet Boy is just
he's already sector 2 it looks like. I don't know where, but yeah, it's all going on. We've already got 2 casualties in qualifying. Gareth goes to the top of the 19.4. I think the pole time in the Oceania Regional was a 18.2 set on the medium tyre, and that was set by Alex, or better known as eye contrast. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we have eye contrast in the TNF1 Oceania League.
Oh,
so
I know where it's the it's like the S section with the gravel on the right hand side.
yeah.
Just before the like back straight.
So here comes Guy Tasker across the line. Looks like invalidated his time, and it was a 20.9, so that would have only put him P3.
El Hassanoui, is that the Renault's gone off?
Oh yep, no, Renault. That's Sam Sullivan. Luca Montegheza goes P2 with a 19.4. Is that Joe or is that Matty? No, that's Joe. Oh no, that's Hans. He's got someone in front of him for company. Whoa. We got Evgeny around on the last turn.
It's all going off, isn't it?
Yeah. This is definitely one of the more action-packed qualifyings I've seen in a long time. And this probably contrasts to why not a lot of people enjoy Spain that much. Here comes Robin Kreft, the championship points leader. He goes up P3 with a 20.5 on the hards. Fabio La Fascioli has gone P7 at the moment with a 20.9, the current F3 points leader. It's actually quite...
survived that crash, and Addy...
Yeah, well, it's the second time that the two Mercedes have come together. Let's not forget turn 1 at Bahrain. That didn't go to plan for them either. Guy has finally put a time on the board, but it's only a 24.5 on the mediums. I would imagine he'll be pretty soon probably jumping onto the soft tyre and trying to make a statement there, because anybody who goes on the soft tyre is bound for a 2-stop, so there's no escaping it. Believe me, I was kind of looking, because I qualified on the softs myself and qualified P3 for the Oceania race, and I was kind of sitting there thinking, is there a way I could push the soft tyres to a certain number and then go on the hards to the end, but it's theoretically impossible, even though I did end up spinning at lap 1 turn 3 anyway. So
is about to do a lap on the softs. She's completely cut last corner.
Which probably won't help him if he's cut it massively. It'll probably invalidate his lap and the lap that he's doing now, so I wouldn't see much out of that. I think Eden might be actually electing to just sit out of qualifying as a mark of feeling guilty about the incident. I don't know really what part he had in it, but
I mean, you're trying to rejoin the track and just hit the Mercedes. Sector 2, 3. It's Fabio's going slow.
The question as to why Contrast is not in F1, it's because it's too early for him. He's Australian. They whinge a lot about time management. Oh, we lost Jaden as well. He was on his second run on the hard tyre. Robin's moved up to, oh no, that's Matty Smith up to P3 on a 20.2, so he's the fastest of the hard runners at the moment, so that's not too bad from Matty Smith there, your mate's arch nemesis.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't seem to think, well, Joe doesn't seem to think they're arch rivals, but I think it's a different perspective. Fabio still on the circuit doing 3 laps on the hards, and we've just lost. Well, we don't.
Just set a lap flash. So I don't know how long he's retired.
I would almost imagine he's just gone for the 1 lap dash sort of thing. He's just gone for 1 lap and then. Although, in saying that, I mean, there was a little thing, an idea I wanted to introduce into the Transnation eSports at one point to kind of spice qualifying up, was to have a qualifying set at a certain time on this particular day, maybe sometime in the night, and that qualifying would determine a top 10 shootout sort of thing. So the only problem with that is that you can't determine the grid based on those who didn't make it into the 10. But what would happen is that you do that, and then the drivers would come out from 10th position. One driver from 10th would come out, do one flying lap, and then come back in, and then the next driver will come out, do their one flying lap, and then it would just basically do that till there was a pulsar to determine. It would really spice things up, because the one thing I know about qualifying is that you get 20 minutes, well, roughly 20 minutes, to go out and punch out a lap, or punch out as many fast laps as you can, and you get more than one crack at it. At least with the version I had in mind, you've only got, it's basically a one-shot qualifying, but you at least get a warm-up lap before you do it. So it's an interesting one, but you know, you can't, like I say, you can't regulate the grid from positions 11 down, and you can't necessarily guarantee that you could have everyone qualify on that particular day and then still turn up for the race the next one. So if it was like GT Sport where you could modularly going to go on a lap, so we'll go on board and watch them in action. So heading down the front straight, the DRS activates 8th gear, roughly about 320 kilometers here. Break down into fourth gear into turn 1 and turn 2. You got to get both of them accurate, otherwise it really hurts your turn 3. He's actually, I don't know if that's lag or he's just backed off.
He should be he's backed off his weevil.
He must have I don't know if he invalidated though. It looked pretty clean coming through 3, so.
Yeah, he took quite a lot. Well, you can take quite a lot of curb at turn 1. Maybe just too much.
Just to answer your question there, Jonathan. Yeah, it's actually a Australian supercar policy more than it is NASCAR. But I suppose if NASCAR follow the same principle, I guess you could say it's the same. So at the moment, Robin Kreff now only a couple of laps away, only about a tenth or two away from the fastest overall qualifying time of the weekend, having, like I said, the pole time being a 18.2. Actually, what am I saying? It's about a second off, so the Oceania drive is just a little faster over the course of the qualifying, but oh no, sorry, it wasn't an 18.2, it was it was an 18.2. I did an 18.7 on the softs. So the current order is Robin Kreff from Gareth Vickers, then it's Luca Montagueza, Hans Fla, Maddie Smith, Jaden Felter, Samuel Sullivan, Fabio Lafaciol, Guy Tasker, who's actually gone out on the hard tyre. That's fascinating. I mean, it is a 21 flat he's got to beat, so I suppose he could try and do it. The best of the medium runners is a 20.2, so he's got to try and make a second literally if he wants to jump up, and that will jump him up into P5 and put him in the best of the position, strategy wise. Yevgeny has done 6 laps on his tyres. Even though he's on the hard, 6 laps on a set of tyres probably just isn't the way to go. I think Yevgeny needs to cut a loss here, although he's going on with it irrespective. He's going to cross the line. This will be in the 19s actually. It's P4 with a 19.5. But yeah, I don't know about the amount of tyre life he's had to use to do that, so I'm not so convinced that he's...
Don't know the weather from the race, to be fair.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah, it's still
but in saying that, if it was going to rain, I would have thought everyone would have been jumping on the little softs by now. If it was going to rain, you wouldn't want to be, what the, of course, that figures.
Oh no, have I got the glitch? I might be disconnecting.
Yeah, I just got a disconnection myself. I'll just rejoin in a second. What do you mean the invitation can no longer be used? I can't use any of my invites. Hang on, I need to...